Welcome everyone to Films with the Women in My Life. My name is Brennan, and joining me tonight is Jess.
Just me being my my inseparable self.
You almost made me mess up the intro because I don't do them as often, so you messing me. And Nicole is also here, of course.
Yeah.
It's typical. And Mama Kay.
Yeah, it's a great intro when it starts with "Oh my God."
I'll decide where it comes in at.
I'll decide
right,
where it happens.
I'll decide. I'm the editor. We are catching up on the last couple of weeks. I think it's been about a month since we caught up on the mics. How's it been? How was your October into November? Or November now? Was it a good Halloween? Anyone have anything fun they did?
No.
Nothing?
Yeah, I gave candy to the kids. I get a lot of kids in my neighborhood, so I went through like 3 bags of 75 pieces
Oh my God.
pretty quickly.
Oh, wow.
Yikes,
Yeah,
Jess.
Wow.
Wow.
A ton of children.
I guess you are
Halloween's a
in
big deal
row
here.
houses.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we got like a little bit, but not
Maybe
not
like
like that.
20.
We went through. I say we still have our original bag. We did not get rid of all of it, and we purposely got a candy that neither of us.
You
are
didn't
gonna...
even eat it yet? If I had leftovers.
Oh no, I got something I don't like on purpose.
Oh, bring it over to give it to Jess this weekend. Give it just
Smart.
she'll just take candy.
I will.
Yeah. There you go. All right,
I
so
just have the bars in the freezer. No, don't ask me. We
I
have the
want
full size
those.
bars in the freezer. Yeah. So.
All right, I think we're appropriately
those.
endearing to the audience now. It is a catch-up show. We are talking about the movies in the past couple of weeks. We saw some theater stuff. I know people have some TV shows to catch up on. Usually I realize on these I start with Jess, so why don't I start with one of the other women? Do either of you want to volunteer to go first to talk about a movie or TV show you've seen in the past recently?
We need you to direct us. Who do you want to go first?
Oh, Nicole. Nicole, you can go. You're the one who started
I'll go
talking,
first.
so that means you're good. Jess, you go first every time. Nicole, you go
Automatically. Just like, I have things.
Just like, I
Yeah,
have my
I'll go
list right
first.
here, and I'm going to read all of them off one at a time before we...
I'm trying to think. In the past month, I think only one thing is coming to mind. Well, I guess I'm struggling.
Oh.
I have a
my.
couple things that I know you watched.
Yeah.
That we watched to death because we were...
So,
yeah.
I've
but-
been watching TV on streaming, just whatever shows up on whatever platform I happen to be on. One of the things I've been watching during my lunch break is a show on Hulu called Hell Lives Here, I think. It's real life stories of people who have had some disastrous thing happen to them or a family member. Most of these people are killers or whatever, and a lot of the times it's the first time that these people have spoke about these crimes. So that's been.
And the title is Hell Lives Here?
I believe so. Evil lives here. Evil lives here. Sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got another title.
Okay.
Evil Lives Here.
Evil lives here. I keep doing that because I keep trying to look it up to see when it was made, and I can never find it. It's because I'm looking.
You
up
can never find it
wrong.
because you're looking for Hell
Because
Lives
it's
Here.
not
Yeah.
Like, that's not
Yeah.
a show. Yeah,
Evil. So just one of those true crime shows, but it's first hand experience with the story, so that's been interesting and very sad. And then another thing that I've been watching that's also interesting and sad is there's a new season of Hoarders on Hulu that I've also
Oh, gosh.
watched all of. I've watched that show for a long time, and I really like all of the psychologists, and cleaning experts that are on it. Like they're like the main characters that keep showing up. There's like about 10 different people that cycle through the show.
Oh, but the same ones keep coming back over and over again? I've never seen...
That's right.
I've seen Hoarders, obviously, but not
They have the
enough to-
experts.
There's
just
about
like they would any-
3 or 4
yeah,
psychologists, and then there's about 3 or 4 organizing specialists, and then the full team behind them. But they cycle through the episodes of who's there. But I like all of them, so that's why I keep coming back to it. And of course, they have to, as the show goes on, they have to get more and more extreme and find like the most extreme cases, and yeah, I'm all in for that. So, those are two things I've been watching recently. I do have another show, but I'll wait.
Yeah, we can hold on to the show. Those are like the reality. Is that reality TV? Because I always think reality TV is like the
documentary series.
Okay, documentary series. Is that a more appropriate thing to call? Like, because like, what would you call like My 600-Pound Life? Because that's like Hoarders. It's just like it's
reality
it's like
TV. It's reality TV
and sad and like I get such bad taste in my mouth when I watch those shows with with the people involved because I'm just like, it's so put upon. Like I just don't believe you. Like it's.
But I will
hard
say that Hoarders is better than hoarding buried alive. That's the other one, and I don't remember. I think that's on TLC, and that one's crap.
Buried alive. Yikes.
Yeah, that's
the inferior.
The other one is on A&E, so you know it's legit.
Well, they have to dig the person out on the other one before they can start.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. What was that, Jess?
What's the resolution of the show? Like, do they try to unhoard them, or do they just interview them and figure out why they're hoarder, and they're like, okay,
so
bye.
The psychiatrist and the organizing specialist work in tandem to find like the underlying root of why this person is a hoarder. Now, most of the time it's just trash and debris all over their house, but it's changing behavioral patterns of keeping things for whatever reasons, and then a lot of the times there's a lot of sob stories with the families come in and say, you care about this stuff more than me, and blah, blah, blah. So they do clean up the house is the end goal for the organizers, and then it's changing behavioral patterns for the psychiatrists.
Wow. Which, when you're that much of an adult, is almost impossible. I mean, because most of these people are older.
Well,
they're mostly older.
And if you are interested in looking at Where Are They Now, they just started putting some Where Are They Now episodes out, and so far, out of the 4 cases that I have watched, reviewed, only 25% or 1 person is still not hoarding. So it just goes to show that people, old habits die hard, I guess.
Honestly, that's better success rate than I was expecting. Like, do you have even that?
I think so.
Like,
yeah.
The what is it? The when they show the 600-pound life, the only other one that's coming to mind right now, but they have like a 5% success rate or something like that. It's like abysmal. It's like, and even that I imagine is probably better than non-intervention help. So, well, speaking of filthy, horrible basements, Jess, there was a new horror movie that was out recently. It was called Heretic, starring Hugh Grant.
I've been calling it Heretic.
I knew it.
Thought you might. I thought you might. So you don't say the words
and
right.
At first, I thought it was hectic.
You thought it was hectic?
Hugh
Grant is getting hectic.
Calling it hectic. It is a rather hectic movie, and then I was like, "Oh, it's Heretic." So,
and it's not. It's Heretic, starring Hugh Grant, directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods, the writers of the first Quiet Place movie, the John Krasinski directed Quiet Place movie. They also have done a couple other horror movies, but that's like their biggest thing. But yeah, they're the team behind this one, and it's Hugh Grant and 2 younger women. I don't know them; they're TV actors, I believe. But Jess, what did you think of Heretic?
So I didn't see any previews going into it. I didn't know what it was. I knew Hugh Grant. I just knew he was just like a middle-aged British guy. So yes. I was excited going into it, and I ended up really liking it. This is definitely a plot that I haven't seen before. It's an original movie. There were so many twists and turns where you're like, where the heck is this going to go? As I was watching it, I was like, Brennan is going to love it because it's full of rules and it's kind of like a maze of a movie to watch. I thought it was very entertaining. So I thought it was one of the better ones I've seen lately.
Yeah, I like this quite a bit. I think Jess texted me, she's like, this is going to be your kind of one. And it is my kind of one. Yeah. It's because they don't do anything traditionally scary until, I don't know, maybe an hour in. It's all Hugh Grant mind games before then. All right, so if you guys haven't seen the premise, the two who have not seen this film, it's two missionaries of Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, Mormons. They're going door to door, and Hugh Grant's one of their houses that they come to, and it's really heavy weather, so he invites them in for pie. His wife's making pie. They have to be in the presence of a woman because of their religion, and so he kind of coaxed them in, and then the whole thing is they slowly realize they probably shouldn't be there. Hugh Grant maybe not safe, and then Hugh Grant goes on religious tirades, and then by the time you get to the third act, it gets, I don't want to spoil it, but barbarian-ish. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, it's...
I think you can spoil it. I don't think either of them are going to see it.
You guys aren't going to see Heretic?
I might.
No.
It's too scary for Mama K, and I don't know. I think actually Nicole might like it.
I think Nicole would like this one.
Hold on to it for now. I might see it.
Don't spoil then.
I'll hold the very final choice, but all right. So I'll say I didn't love this. This is like a 3.5, 4 out of 5 for me. My hangups were, and it's usually not this, but for this one, the two women were not as good as like the average leads in these kind of movies. Like I usually can get pretty attached to the 20-something woman in distress in movies like this. And these two, I was having trouble connecting as much with how well written the thing was and how good Hugh Grant is magnetically. I usually can jump on like when the Smile movies and It Follows and all those Final Girl movies where there's like a slasher one. Like I can always pretty easily jump on board with our leads. I was having trouble with our leads here, not from a lack of believability in their actions. Their actions made a lot of sense. I really think it was like a lack of charisma, like a real je ne sais quoi of, I wish they had different actresses, maybe. I don't know. That's why I haven't been naming them, because I don't want to just dog on people.
There was a spunky girl and there was a shy girl, and there was a moment where the shy girl definitely had to take the lead. I was very impressed with her taking the lead. Yeah, I wish that all was working for me. But all right, so the last 10 minutes you get the final kind of reveal of like the final room, whatever, the big thing at the end. And there's the last 10 minutes of this movie, and it's like the confrontation, and then you got to see who comes out on the other side of it. But I had a theater experience during that last confrontation. I was telling Nicole about this because I didn't want to forget any details. I was seated in a mediumly crowded theater, mediumly sized, so probably like 30 people. And I went to the bathroom break to come back, and instead of going back to my other seat because it was crowded, I just went in the back row near the door because it was easier. And I sat down, and I got a phone light shined on me by someone sitting in the row. Like, shining it right on me. I'm like, oh, okay, like kind of lingering on me too long. And they just said out loud, I had to see who was there. I was like, okay, all right, you had to see who's there. It's fine. So movie keeps going on. I don't think much of it, and probably about now we're at the 10 minute mark left, and shit starts going down in the movie, and it's almost over. And the woman in the row, only woman I've realized at this point, she gets up and she puts her hand on my shoulder, not on the chair shoulder, like my shoulder, and she's kind of squeezing a little bit tight. She's like a 5'3", woman, black woman with done up hair. I can see it from the glow of the screen, and she starts talking to me in regular volume, like, I tell you, this movie, it's prophecy. It's prophetic. No. It's real. And you can... What? And then she's like, and I wasn't even supposed to be in this row. I was in another row, but they took my seat. And I said, Lord, it's supposed to be a sign, and it's okay. And now I know it's because I had to sit next to you, and I had to tell you this message. And she's going on. Volume, like what I'm talking to you right now as volume in this theater during the climactic moments where Hugh Grant's fighting the girl Jess in the movie, and like people are turning around and looking at me sitting there, and I'll ask you guys what you guys would have done. This is what I did. I nodded slightly every couple of sentences and did nothing else. I just sat there and took it and nodded, glanced at her occasionally, and then the movie ended. And like everyone's, this is even the weirdest part. Before the movie ended, she would, when something would happen on the screen, like someone would get stabbed all of a sudden, and she would break her trance on me and turn to the screen and go, "Oh damn! Oh, that was crazy!" And then she would just get back on my shoulder and be like, "And this was all going to happen, you see." And I'm just like, "What are you fucking going on about?" And I was like, I'm alone. Nicole's not with me. I'm in the back row. I don't know anybody. I'm not going to interrupt these people an hour 40 into the movie and like stand up for myself. Like there's nothing to stand up for. It's the end of the movie. And then in the end, she just, before the credits go, like right when it says directed by whoever,
She puts her hand on my shoulder one more time, and she goes, "Oh, thank you for listening to me. God bless," and walks out before anyone else gets up, before the house lights come up. And the house lights come up, and I'm just sitting back there, and everyone turns around looking at me. I'm like, I don't fucking know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my god.
So that happened to the
at the end of Heretic. I don't know what I would have done either.
Did you say anything out loud?
Given her a thumb.
Did I say anything out loud?
Like at when the house lights came on and people were looking at you?
No, because no one ever. The seats were far enough away where it's not like I was within. Like I was probably 5 or 6 feet away from the next closest person. It was the handicap back row, so like if you would like wheel in, and so it had some distance to the rest of the seats. So I wasn't even that close. So that's why I knew, even though she was talking full volume, there's sounds going on in the movie. So like maybe they can't really fully hear, but like I could fully hear, and enough people were turning around where they could hear. But like I'm just like, there's nothing. If this were a different part of the movie, if I were with, but there's nothing. I have nothing. I can't talk. If I talk, I'm part of the problem. There's nothing to do. This woman's crazy. I can't do. There's nothing I can do. I hope she doesn't. I mean, I don't know how she would listen. I didn't tell her about the podcast.
Sounds hectic.
It was heretic. It was crazy.
It was heretic. It sounds heretic.
And I was only not mad because it didn't happen. If it had happened like 5 or 10 minutes earlier, right before like the final twist kind of happened, like then I would have been like, "Oh, you're really ruining this right now. Like you're really ruining this." But because I saw that coming and I know the movie language, I'm like, "Okay, I get it. Hugh Grant or the girl's gonna win." I kind of know what happens depending on who wins, and I don't. It's fine. I got it. It's done. But like, oh man. I haven't been accosted like that, maybe ever in a movie theater, but like it was quite. Did she just thank me? God bless. Get out of there.
I don't know if I would have gotten up and moved or just given her like a thumbs up the whole time.
That's basically what I was doing by nodding. I think I went, oh, but now she could hear me over the sounds of the movie and herself, but whatever. So, Heretic, I overall, good movie, I thought.
I feel like you either just got blessed or cursed, so let me know if you have any good or bad.
I picked him up and he's telling me this stuff. I'm like, great, what the hell are you bringing home now?
That's another reason why
I didn't like fight with her or nothing. I'm like, I'm just gonna let her get it out, you know? Like, there's just there's no way for me to win by saying anything other than just nodding right now. Like, it's a true hostage situation. I just gotta hope it's over and she doesn't do anything crazy, and that's what ended up happening. So.
She went back. Heretic. She went into the bathroom, and then she came back out, and she went into the next show and did the same thing.
So did the same thing to the next person. Oh my god! Yeah.
There's no way that that was not a first or only timer. So
exhausting, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Mama Kay, why don't you tell us something you've seen?
Well, Nicole started hers out with a little bit of true crime, and I don't usually do a lot of true crime, but I did happen to watch the Martha biopic movie, and we all know she's a criminal, right? So,
Martha, is it Martha Stewart, Snoop Dogg's best friend, Martha
Stewart? Yeah, Martha Stewart, and we get into the whole, Snoop Dogg thing. So nobody else has seen it yet?
No.
I think it's on.
Don't have
Netflix. Like you said, yet with a little hope, like maybe I'll sell it.
I think it's on Netflix. Well, I mean, if you have any interest in Martha or Snoop Dogg, or just what's it like to go to cupcake prison, I guess, which she doesn't like that term, by the way.
Well,
she does. Yeah. Or if you want to see that really cool crocheted Afghan that she, left prison in, that everybody was freaking out over for a while. That was pretty interesting because it's like a bio doc, and she's the only person that makes an appearance in the movie. Like, she's telling her side of the story, sort of. Also, she doesn't really give a shit whether you believe her or whether you think that she's a bitch. She does not give a shit about anything. It's obvious. But there's a ton of people who do voiceovers for it, like her daughter and people that she knows, Snoop Dogg, and it's very interesting because it's like these people will do voiceovers, but they're not going to be part of it. I think that just shows like it's Martha's story.
That's interesting.
And don't you encroach on it with any of your, I don't want to see your face. And they show her doing things like going, I don't really want to answer that question. Are we done in this part yet? Oh. Or what are we doing here?
Wow.
Yeah. So
Martha.
That was really interesting. That's actually what kept me interested, because it's like, because I think most people know sort of the story, or at least part of the story. And I would give it a watch if I were you, because it's kind of interesting, and it poses the question, really, like, if she was a man, would any of this have happened? Because if you look at the background of all what happened to make her quote unquote a criminal, there's no way a man would ever be indicted for anything like that. So,
what's this called? Martha Unleashed?
I don't think it's called. I think it's called Martha Inc., but I'm not sure.
Unleashed.
Is it called Martha
Inc.
Unleashed?
Martha Inc. like INK because she's got like prison tats.
I was gonna say, did she get
Martha Inc.
I'm almost
It's a new
100%
tattoo
sure
show.
she did not get inked. Well, it's funny you should say
after
that.
Hoarders, catch Martha
Because-
Inc. The new
Oh my God.
reality
Tuesdays
competition.
after the Ink Master, which is the other thing I've been catching up on, because I do love that
Oh,
show.
look at that transition! Amazing.
None of my friends can understand how I can watch like the Great British Baking Show one night and then binge watch Ink Master the next night, and I'm like, you just don't know me. You'll never understand me.
Are you watching a certain season of that?
Well, I just finished not the current season, but the one before that. So I just turned on the new current season, which I don't know if I like it as much, but I take it you know where I'm coming from here, Nicole.
Yeah, I haven't watched any since they switched up the hosts.
Yeah, I mean, the Madden, I don't know. It's not like watching Dave Navarro, but yeah. Lloyd was not impressed either. He's like, hey, where's that other guy that actually looks like he has, that he's got some street cred? I'm like, Dave Navarro? You mean Dave Navarro?
But I do like Ryan Ashley a lot.
Yeah,
So
and
you
she's one of the
recommend
judges.
Martha Ink Master?
Yeah. I do, yes. It's cons versus not cons. So, yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, I do
Martha
recommend it.
Ink.
And I haven't been to the movie theater, but I do have one other movie at some point.
Oh, we got some other movie theater movies. Just we saw a movie that I think a lot of us on this show liked, the original, but the sequel we didn't. We were gonna maybe do a standalone episode, but it didn't. We didn't talk about it. Joker, Folie, Deux. Joker, Folie, Deux, the second Joker. Nicole didn't even come and see it with me because she was so underwhelmed by the buzz on the street, the negative buzz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how do you feel after
I
having
was
seen
yep.
Joker, Folie, Deux?
So I even rewatched Joker maybe like a week or two before I saw it, just to refresh my memory and how
That's commitment.
good it was, and I remember how much all of us loved it. I heard it got bad reviews, and I wanted to believe that was false. And there was so many movies I've seen recently that got bad reviews that I actually liked it. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll actually still like it. Maybe it'll be something. I was wrong. It was terrible. And I was so, brokenhearted because I was looking forward to this for, well over a year. This was, the movie I'm like, yes, it's going to come out. I'm so excited. I'm pumped to see
That's
it.
so
And it was
wild.
a complete flop.
Oh, man. Were you disappointed the whole way through?
Yeah, because I kept thinking it was going to get better. I didn't know it was going to be a musical up until maybe a week or two beforehand, and I don't really like musicals, but it's not even like there were any songs that would be stuck in your head. It's kind of like they're just singing back and forth of their lines with no real tune or pitch or instruments or anything. The plot was stupid. It was just nothing like the original. I can't believe they did it to this. It's very upsetting.
I was very confused watching it first because I kind of liked. I was gonna get ready to defend the movie after the first 90 minutes or so. I think it's just over 2 hours, but after the first 80 or 90 minutes, I'm like, that's not as good as the first. But they're doing something different. I don't really like the choice that they make at the very beginning. We'll talk about that in a second because it happens at the very beginning. It kind of recontextualizes everything, and I'm like, I don't really love what they did, but choosing what they did, they're doing okay with it. And it falls on its face so hard, it kind of undoes everything that it was saying it was doing the whole time. I'm just like, well, anyone left who was going to like this movie still, which is basically me, the last people of goodwill left at the 90-minute mark, who are not Jess and have checked, or who are done giving it a chance and hoping it'll get better, or I'm thinking the incelly bro crowd is going to be like, this is not their
That's how you
movie.
identify
Lady
yourself?
Gaga fan. What?
That's how you
Wait,
identify yourself?
I'm saying those are the people who are already turned off at this point. I'm saying the only people left at the 90-minute mark of this movie who are still in it are people like me who are like giving it a chance basically for doing something different.
Oh, I see.
I'm saying the incel bros were turned off quickly because of
they were already gone.
Yeah, because of musical and not he doesn't like do anything in the movie. He's in the prison the whole time. It's like a prison movie.
Silly bro.
Yes, Jess is. That's exactly what I was saying. You understand what I was saying now. But like basically, like anyone who was gonna like this movie, anyone who's gonna like this movie got turned off probably pretty quickly. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm like the lone defender. And then at the end, it just like it kind of backpedals all of its messages and like what it was saying. It's like actually, I didn't mean any of it, and I just didn't know. Like it's kind of like it's really like the cinematic equivalent of going like. Just kidding. I don't really have it. I don't know. Oh man. I'm like, but oh, okay, all right. Well, I guess I was about to defend you, but fine. No, never mind. You're not worth anything. The whole thing at the beginning is there's like a little cartoon, they do like a Bugs Bunny Looney Tunes cartoon thing at the beginning that shows like an evil Joker spirit like hitting Arthur Fleck in the head before he goes on Murray's show in the first one, and it's supposed to imply like the Joker is like a split personality, and the whole thing is like he's like it's bipolar, and he's like another person. Is a Joker a real person, or is it really you? I'm like, I never had these questions. I never like thought of it like that. So this you're posing the point of your movie is posing a question I never had, and it's not an interesting one because people don't want to see that. I don't think it didn't seem that way.
No, then you see Two-Face. If you want that.
No, yeah, it's just, and then to the musicals, like what Jess was saying, like they don't. It's not like there's musical songs written for the movie a bunch. There's a couple, but they don't do like a full number. They just kind of do it like around a room, and like the camera kind of moves, but it doesn't like it doesn't like break into song. It doesn't break into a production. It's still the room that's happening. All of them are dream sequences, so none of it really happens anyway. Like it's just such a. I don't know why they did it like this. I don't understand what they were doing.
Oh, Lady Gaga.
They were doing it for themselves.
I don't either. It was a big mess. I thought there was going to be a plot twist with Lady Gaga because they hinted like, oh, she's just pretending to be crazy or to like you, and I thought it was going to be like her psychological experiment, but no, she was just a weird character. It was just all odd.
I was hoping because they're still together until. Like, I mean, who cares about spoiling this one? Like, they're still together up until the end when he kind of backpedals his whole messaging, and then she's like, "Actually, I don't want you anymore." I'm just like, this just doesn't make any sense. Like, this isn't what you were telling me this whole time. Like, none of this makes any sense. So what is the point of this? I mean, and I think that's like supposed to be like, it's the Joker. You're not supposed to get it at all. The first movie had too much of a point. This movie has to have aggressively no point, I guess. So, yeah.
I don't know. Isn't Joaquin Phoenix like a talented actor? Shouldn't he give the director some tips and be like, bro, this movie, this is not it.
Apparently,
let me help you out here.
I heard that on the premiere, he turned to, because he was sitting with Lady Gaga, he turned to her like 2/3 and he's like, it's so bad. And she's like, no, it's not so bad. And he's like, no, it is. It's so bad. Like, he's just like, no. This ain't it. Like, whatever they were trying to do, I don't think this is. Yeah, Todd Phillips. Yeah,
I hope they end that too and don't make a third. Because
I would say when you went back and saw the first one, Jess, did you like the first one still? Like,
oh yeah, I still really like the first one. It was so good. It was incredible. It was and I watched it before I went to a wedding, which probably was a mistake because it was all depressive and dark, and I'm like. All right, now to go celebrate some of my friends.
Good stuff. Joker is what a folly, unfortunately. But
yeah.
Speaking of follies, Nicole, you and I saw a film by a director who's made a few follies.
Oh, well, it depends on who you ask.
Do you want to talk us or get us started a little bit on M. Night Shyamalan's movie? Trap, his most recent effort, 2024, Josh Hartnett starring, and I think Jess talked about it a couple episodes ago.
Didn't Jess see this?
She did.
Yeah, I liked it.
You liked... Yeah, Nicole.
Uncomfortable laugh, Nicole.
do the 30 seconds. What's Trap about to the layman who forgot about this earlier in the year? M. Night Shyamalan.
Trap is about a father and daughter who attend a random afternoon concert. Meanwhile, there's a serial killer on the loose, so they plan this concert to try to capture the killer because they know he is attending. But they don't know who it is. So they're trying to
That is completely accurate. That is completely accurate to the plot. That is insane. Like, and that as I say,
Let's put a whole
McKay,
theater full of
not
people.
It's an enormous concert in Philadelphia that they put on specifically to wrangle this unidentified man. So, we follow Josh Hartnett around, and he does all these wacky and zany activities in the concert for about an hour and 10 minutes. By wacky and zany, I mean he pushes he starts a fire in a oil fryer. He pushes a woman down the stairs. He steals a security guard's badge. He becomes friends with a worker at the concert. He gets access to the back area and does absolutely nothing about killing anybody. That doesn't come till an hour and 35 minutes of an hour and 45-minute movie. The whole concert setup is absolutely pointless. Nothing happens there. You're waiting.
Oh no, it has a very specific point, Nicole. It is a very real.
Well,
point.
Yes.
It has to be in a concert.
So
we'll talk about why.
The reason that this whole hour and a half concert, it's the Eras tour of M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. He created this movie solely to allow her to sing her songs in a film. Because it's an hour and a half concert for her. And then it goes into the actual serial killing story. And the reason that we find out he is the killer is because he kidnaps the star.
The daughter.
Forget what her name is in the movie.
The singer is it's played by Salika Shyamalan, and it's Lady Raven is
Lady
the big
Raven.
star, and she gets kidnapped. I mean, spoiler,
and
Josh Hartnett has to.
He brings her back to the home. And there's some stuff going on there. So, I mean, I was just so incredibly amazed that he was capable of creating a movie solely for that reason. And everyone was like, yep, this is fine. Here's your bullshit 20-minute ending.
Yep.
$30 million budget.
For a concert. Instead of just buying her a plot on Disney Plus or whatever. But
can't you put her in a Disney show or something?
But I mean, all that being said, just the amount of no fucks given that M. Night has, I absolutely love it. He does not care what anybody thinks about his movies. He does not care if you like him
100%.
or hate him. He makes movies for himself and obviously his daughter. But he will make whatever he wants, and I commend that, and I love watching them. It was just such a bad, stupid movie. He has other stupid ones that are fun to watch. This was not fun. You wait and wait and wait and think, oh my god, the whole place is going to blow up, or he's going to shoot the woman on stage, or he's going to kidnap and hold hostage the security guard. Nothing happens.
And this is what Josh Hartnett comes back on?
Yes!
He's been gone for so long, and now he comes back in this Taylor Swift ripoff.
Maybe he's just M. Night's buddy. They were just riffing one night. He's like, I bet I could get $30 million out of the studio, make like 8 music videos for my daughter in one movie. Like, it's so...
And she's pretty good. She's pretty good. It should have been. She is actually.
Else. She's actually not. She's not bad. The daughter is actually not bad. There's also his daughter, Josh Hartnett's daughter in the movie, and she's a fine actress too. But it's not even any of that's problem. It's M. Night always. It's the way he makes things is just like no one acts like a person. Like the whole thing is like Josh Hart is supposed to be this clever, amazing serial killer, but he's only amazing and clever because everyone around him is so stupid and does nothing that makes any sense that of course he looks amazing because they don't do anything right. The security guard, he basically goes. Or not a security guard. It's a guy. He's like a t-shirt guy,
salesman.
He works at
whatever they call.
Yeah, he works at the merch thing, and it's a super busy line. And he's like,
I like that guy.
He's like the Lowell Howie character in like a Jordan Peele movie, and it's a busy line. And he's like, "Hey, what's going on around here?" And the guy's like, "Oh, let me just tell you this little secret, man. This whole thing, it's a whole setup by the cops. They're gonna trap the serial killer in there. But get this, they don't know what he looks like. And now all of us, we got a secret code word thing." And he's just telling him all this busy line. And like, I'm just like, what is happening right now? This is the most M. Night thing. Like, this is how we find out the plot of the movie. What Nicole was just saying earlier is it's just a guy starts saying it unprompted. All he says is, "Hey, it's pretty busy going on." Oh yeah, do you need a lot of plot details to start making? He gives him his badge, or not a badge. He gives him, what does he give him? He gives him the password that he uses. He steals the badge without him knowing. He's an idiot. Everything, all the characters don't make any. Oh, it's so ridiculous. And we just had Knock at the Cabin, which I thought was good, a genuinely good M. Night movie, and we had Old, which is the kind Nicole and I were talking about the bad, but you laugh at it the whole time. And this one,
amazing.
Yeah, Old is the best. And like that's one where it's like that's where his bad writing can shine. And really, this is just too much. Obviously, like it's just you could probably just jump to a random frame, and it's probably just her performing on stage. They do like really, really long,
so
uncut music videos. And like again, no reason. It's just you can't make it make sense as to why they're at the concert, other than my daughter's a musician, and I can't think of another way for her to perform. Why can't she be at a fair where it's at least more plausible that the cops would try to sit in an open area? This is a closed building, and the plot sets it up so that the cops made up a concert to because
the other thing about
she's
it too,
in on it. So the singer is in on it too. She's like, yeah, I wanted to help catch this serial killer. I forgot they shoehorned it in because my daughter is an amazing Jesus figure. I don't know. It's crazy.
The other thing about it too that is so unrealistic is one, we all know he's from Philadelphia and he loves Philadelphia, so he puts that in everything. But the concert is absolutely surrounded by SWAT team members, okay? Absolutely
comically surrounded.
Fully covered from tip to tail in SWAT team. Nobody's freaking out. Nobody is like, what the hell's going on? Everyone is ignoring the fact that this place is on complete lockdown with like bomb teams and tanks and shit. I don't understand.
Well, I mean, that sounds like Philly.
Hey.
People be walking around going,
weekend.
I know, it's like, I don't know how that's any different
after
than
an
just
Eagles
regular.
game.
Yeah.
So Trap, would we recommend it, Nicole? I'm gonna. I would say yes to the last two, but this is probably my first M. Night in a while. I'm like, too boring.
No, probably not this one. It's just it's not as good and funny as the other ones. It's actually kind of aggravating that I sat through that whole fucking thing and then
it was
feels sad to me.
It was a trap.
The trap was getting us to watch his daughter's career.
Yeah. Straight up said it, and you guys still went.
Jess, I saw that you saw a theater movie that I've been meaning to see, a kids movie. That looks pretty good. Wild Robot. Why don't you tell us about Wild Robot?
Oh my gosh, Wild Robot was so good.
Oh.
I usually don't rave about kids movies. Like I'll see them if
someone.
Oh my god. Mama Kay, please buy Brennan headphones for Christmas.
What is happening right now?
We're all hearing the power on, power off lady on your headphones or whatever.
Oh my god, you can hear her?
Yes! That's why we can't talk.
Hold on. Let me turn that Bluetooth off.
That's... Okay, fine. I guess we're going to have to get him some headphones. We'll talk, Nicole.
Okay, alright. My headphones are off. My wired headphones are off. I'm just talking on a phone. And I got it fixed, so this is... Go ahead. Wild Robot.
Okay, so I usually don't run to the theater for kids movies. I usually wait until I hear that it's really good or I get like a good recommendation. And I've just been seeing on TikTok that people say it's really worth seeing. I didn't know it was a book at first. I think my coworker told me he read it to his kids, like maybe I don't know when, but decided to go see it. The first half of the movie, so good. I don't think I've cried during a movie or TV show at all this year, and I ugly cried in the theater to this. I would say the movie's kind of a 2-part movie. The first part is kind of her raising the kid, and the second part is kind of like her trying to identify who she is when her kid's gone. So the first half I thought was phenomenal, like the colors, the artwork, the messaging. Like I was in tears. It was so good. The second half of the movie, I think, was just good. Not great, but good. So I think you should all see it. I think you would all like it. It was so moving. It was great.
I'm seeing here it's the robot gets shipwrecked on an island, and then she has to raise the native animals, basically. They become like a found family.
Yeah, so this robot is kind of like has this task to raise, I guess he's a baby bird or a little duckling. So she does that, but she acts like a robot. She talks like a robot. She's not really motherly, but she's trying to figure out how to navigate motherhood. So there's a lot of definite, like the first half of the movie, I'm like, this is kind of a movie for parents because she's thinking about like, how do I raise a child? How do I do this? Like I've all the neighborhood people around and stuff. So then she eventually like completes her task where the bird migrates with all the other birds and flies away. And then now she's trying to figure out what to do with her life. Should she go back to her like robot world where she's supposed to be, or should she stay in the woods with all like the friends that she made? And then it ends up like the other robots try to take her back, and then she realizes she wants to stay. So there's that kind of, I don't know, conflicts going on. So the second half wasn't like super, I don't know, wasn't as gravitating as the first half, but I think you should all see it and tell me what you think.
I would say my favorite thing that you've ever recommended me was an animated movie. It was Little Prince. That's my favorite movie. I always remember my favorite movie that someone recommends me, and yours for me is that one. So this is I take animation recommendations.
Little Prince was so good. Yeah.
All right. Well, The Wild Robot. Okay, you said you had another thing a little bit earlier. Why don't you get that one out?
I got one. I had one other streaming movie that I watched that I wanted to talk about and see if anybody saw, which is Will and Harper.
Will and Harper. You were telling me about this one. I had not frequented the circles.
It wasn't on your radar. So it's a documentary about Will Ferrell, who goes on a road trip with his friend Harper.
Yes, I do know what you're talking about. Sorry,
Hello?
go on. Yeah, I know.
Okay. I'm like, what happened?
You said documentary with Will Ferrell, and now I know what you're talking about because I didn't recognize the name. Go on.
Yeah. So Will and Harper started out Saturday Night Live together. Harper in the movie is a female. She's a transgender writer, and when they started out together, I don't even remember what Harper's dead name is. Anyway, they started off together in Saturday Night Live. He was a man, had a family, wrote most of Will Ferrell's skits, whether you find them funny or not. They obviously have a real similar sense of humor, and they've been friends for, 30 years or whatever. And Harper, this is just the story of how Harper came out to him, and they decided to take this road trip across the United States for their own friendship, to just kind of figure out like how they fit into each other's lives still. And also, of course, they along the way they run into characters, and some of their stuff takes place in sort of deeper South kind of situations, and just it's a nice little story, and it seems very, there's pieces of it that you're like, okay, I'm not sure how much I can believe this, because there's clearly a documentary camera crew going along with them, so
you also got Will Ferrell, who's a pretty recognizable, even if you don't know, even if you haven't seen a thing, like he looks like a person. He's 6'4", like he stands out. He's huge. Yeah,
he's definitely imposing. And Harper is, Harper transitioned as like a 60-year-old person, so it's not
wild.
There's not this 25-year-old beauty queen kind of look to her. She looks a little rough and ready, just like 60 and 70-year-old people probably look a little rough and ready. Yeah. So, but there is one point where she decides to go into a bar in a more conservative area. She says that she wants to go by herself without him so that there isn't that recognition. There are times when he's not recognized, which I think is hilarious. And I'm just like, how, typically it's people that are not like native to the United States, and that's partially why, but that, she goes into this bar without him, and then she signals to him that, it's a safe space. And so he comes in, and then everyone's like, well, this just got really weird. Like, you're not weird, but now it's weird because Will Ferrell's here. So,
it's like, it wasn't weird before. Now this is too many. This is too many things. Before.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's a nice little story. There's some really, sort of devastating pieces to it when, she realizes that she's not coping well with things, and spend a period of her life planning to end her own life. And just a good story. They're driving across in this piece of shit car, which is part of the fun, I guess. And they stop in places like Walmart parking lots and pull out chairs and have beers, and it's really bizarre. And there's people from Saturday Night Live who obviously have little cameos and things like that, and talk about what it was like for them when she came out to them. And it's a good little movie.
Will and Harper sounds like a recommend for that one. I wanted to catch up on that one if I ever re-up that Netflix subscription. Always threatening to, but never doing it. Maybe it'll be for the Jake Paul, or like Logan Paul.
I don't.
Jake
think
Paul.
So.
Jake Paul Tyson fight.
Oh, that didn't happen already. Mike Tyson.
No. It got like delayed.
As of this recording, it's probably, or as of this listening, it's probably happened. So.
Oh, okay. We're close then.
Yeah. Nicole, did you have any other watchable things that you wanted to mention here?
I do have one more, I think. And this is on Max, I believe. It is a documentary series. It's a couple episodes. It is from the director of Tiger King, and it is called Chimp Crazy.
What?
It is about a refugee gorilla place. What are they? Apes? What are they? Chimps. Chimps.
A primate sanctuary?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's really
in quotations in the sanctuary part.
Anything but elegant and cheerful for these primates. But really it's about a story of a woman that found a loving relationship to one of the chimps there, and upon removal of most of them from the sanctuary, one goes missing, and we figure out where it is and what's going on. And this woman is absolutely crazy. So that was an interesting watch. It's just one of those goofy ones. But the big thing about this one in particular is that the director, as I mentioned, he directed Tiger King. The whole exotic animal family out there in the U.S. and beyond all know about him. So he had to find a different way to direct this film by not being in it or showing face. So that's an interesting situation.
He's too notorious in the exotic community. They're like, he's trying to shut us down. You gotta keep an eye out for him. He's like their Michael Moore.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
So we have a proxy director and everything. It's very interesting how they did it. The story is kind of goofy, but just to watch this woman is definitely worth seeing, because she is something else. She is not human either.
Can we just leave the animals out of it? I mean,
it's a tough watch. It's like, I'm not really like I watched all of Tiger King. It wasn't really a Tiger King guy. That also a tough watch. This one is even. It's even scary. This one's even scarier. Like these people are even scarier than those people. Just on me personally, because those people seem to understand that they're like freaks and that what they're doing is like not like normal and like they're just freaks. But this woman is like constantly trying to convince you like, oh no, this love is much more pure than a human, than I've never felt another child.
Yeah, child.
I don't care about my own children like this. I'm just like, that's so gross, man. Like, there's nothing there's no shittiness Joe Exotic could have done with those tigers that this woman doesn't also do with the monkeys. And then she also has this like air of, oh no, I figured this out. Like, this is the true right thing. And it doesn't matter that every human in the world tells me this is the horrible things I do, and I shouldn't live my life this way. But oh yeah.
Well, the other thing about this too is, basically the plot of this is once they determine what happened to this other chimp that was missing, PETA is involved, and it's all about her and PETA's lawsuits together. And
the guy who is assigned to the case,
the lawyer. Yeah,
the guy who has to like fucking deal with her on the phone. This is my 4 o'clock. Like he's just like a bureaucrat. He's like fucking this woman.
One of the main commentators on this is Alan Cumming, who is big in PETA. He is a huge PETA supporter. So yeah, a lot of it is Alan Cumming telling a story about this lady.
PETA's against this, correct? I mean,
there's a lot of Alan Cumming in this. I forgot about that.
I want to make sure they're on the right side. I
don't know who that is.
They're against
He's
this,
the
right?
host of Traitors.
Traitors.
Isn't he in Spy Kids?
Don't know who that is either.
He's the bad guy in Spy Kids. Right?
Oh, I know what that is.
I knew she would.
Well, now, why didn't you say that before?
Yeah, why'd you start off with Spy Kids?
It's on Max, Jess, if you have any interest in Chimp Crazy. Would you recommend Chimp Crazy, Nicole?
No, it's stupid, but the story is just so out of nowhere. It's Chimp Crazy.
Is this woman going to prison? Because this.
Well, you have to watch. You're gonna have to watch.
Can't spoil it.
Oh, I don't know if I want to know that much. I might have to just do the IMDb.
Well, we are on TV shows, Jess. Why don't you? I know you had a couple more TV shows. Why don't you wrap up with those?
Yeah, I think I had 2 TV shows. One, I watched the entire 4 or 5 seasons on the airplane to and from Germany.
Wow.
They're pretty short. I think each season has maybe like 5 episodes.
Okay.
So it's not long. It's called Slow Horses. It's on Apple TV. I've tried probably watching the first season like maybe 4 times in every airplane attempt, and I've always fallen asleep. This time I actually committed and watched them all, and they're pretty good. I wouldn't say they're revolutionary. It's just your average spy movie.
I gotta know,
why did you stay awake?
Why did you try like a bunch of times, keep failing, and then eventually do it? And then be like, it's pretty good. Like, I'm like, that's cool. I like that commitment, but like, what is that?
Oh, I think I just failed just because I was in the airplane and fell asleep. I don't think it was anything more than that.
Oh, wasn't it? It was just like every time you just happened to like. Oh,
yeah, this was always Apple TV is always my default like airplane movie because I don't think airplane downloads. I don't think a lot of my subscriptions I have a download option because I get the cheapest version. So
gotcha.
This one I can download. So it's always on my iPad, and I've always tried, but just because in airplane I've always ended up falling asleep. This time I actually watched them all, and they're pretty good. They're just
this makes
like
total
your
sense
typical
now.
spy movies.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep,
it has the guy, the British guy that played Harry Potter's uncle in it.
That's the best way to refer to Gary Oldman. Yeah. It's,
yeah, him.
Oh, wait a minute.
No, that's not his uncle. That's
Mr.
Sirius
Dursley.
Black. Yeah. No, not Mr. Dursley.
Yeah.
He's dead. He's that actor.
He's dead. I'm like, yeah.
No, Gary Oldman.
Yes. He is in it.
Also known as Winston Churchill, Jess, from your favorite historical drama, The Darkest Hour.
Oh, God. I repressed that.
Oh man! So Slow Horses on Apple
I think
TV.
it's a fun, quick watch. It's definitely will catch your attention. But again, it's a typical spy movie, so it's not anything you haven't seen before. The next show I watched was Tell Me Lies. I think I probably mentioned season 1 on one of our catch-ups. I just binged season 2, which I liked a lot better. I think it's just your typical like girl movie or girl TV show right now. It's just about drama and hookups about this group of friends in college. The first season I wasn't really that into. I just kind of watched it to finish it. The second one I liked a lot. The characters are all dark and twisty and just a lot of drama going on, but it was very good.
Tell Me Lies. Let's see. Lucy and Steven quickly fall into an addictive entanglement that will permanently alter their lives and the lives of everyone around them. A tumultuous and intoxicating relationship unfolds over 8 years. Does that sound like the show?
Yeah.
So
college.
So Gilmore
drama.
Girls, basically.
No way. Gilmore Girls is like tame. This is just like some toxic shit. Like, I'm gonna beat you up and then we're still gonna continue dating kind of thing.
Yeah, get real nasty with it. Tell me lies, as they say.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of getting nasty with it, I think I'll close this out with one more theater movie. I saw The Apprentice, about our 47th president, Donald J. Yes, The Apprentice starring...
Oh, that's a Seb Stan movie, right?
Sebastian Stan is starring as young 30-something Donald Trump, I guess, for most of the movie. This movie spans like 15, 20 years. It's a pretty long amount of time. Our boy from Succession, the great Jeremy Strong, is back playing another Rich Roy. This time it's Roy Cohn, who is famous for... He's... what's the best way? What's the best way to describe Roy Cohn, Malachi, to like a layman?
I don't know. Is there a layman way to do it?
He's a big lawyer guy who was on he's on the bad guy's side on a bunch of big cases, basically. And he's also a closeted gay man that came out later. He died of AIDS, but he's also there's a documentary on him that's pretty good that we'll talk about another time, but he's basically like very crazy evil man who also had a very troubled internal turmoil. So anyway, that's your Jeremy Strong character. And Apprentice is it's Donald Trump before all the stuff. It starts with him in like the late 70s. He goes to like a party, like one of those, or not a party, like one of those New York clubs, and he's got just some floozy on his arm. He's like, "Oh, it's great, all these powerful people here." And then Roy Cohn catches his eye. He's like, "Oh, Donnie, you're Fred Trump's kid. Come over, sit at our table." And you get the whole impression that the point of all this is that Donald Trump was like, his dad was an asshole, didn't care about him. His older brother was a drunk loser guy. No one else in the family stood up for him. And he was just trying to approval from anyone who's power, anything. And Roy Cohn had like a crush on him because he's this big, young Donald Trump, this big, blonde, tall, like he was like a conventionally good-looking guy back then. Weird to say.
Strapping.
And so you get this impression like Donald's like, "Oh, he's this rich, powerful guy's gonna help me. It's awesome." And Roy Cohn's like, "Yeah, we're going to work together," and all that kind of stuff. And you watch over the time him transform into the DGT we know today. Because by the end of the movie, he's doing Art of the Deal. So it's when Art of the Deal is first written. He's doing TV spots. Oh. And in the beginning of the movie, you can see like it's like Sebastian Stan. So he's like, he looks a little like Trump in the olden days, and he's kind of dressed up like that. But the performance as he transforms, and then by the end when he's the kind of recognizable as the guy we know now, with the mannerisms and the way of speaking, like, very good performance of him.
Really?
Very strong. Who was it?
Really?
Someone said something.
I said really. Like I was surprised that Sebastian Stan could pull off both sides of that.
Yeah, it's actually insanely impressive. It's good if you don't like, because you can be like, "Oh, I don't want a political, where it's a fluff piece or a hit piece. I don't want it to be." I can't imagine. Like it doesn't talk about that. It's totally about the person. It's totally about like who is this guy? And then the Roy Cohn character to a slightly lesser degree, but also a lot. You get and then who was the second or the first wife of Ivana? You get her. She's played by Maria Bakalova from the second Borat movie. Very good actress, wonderful. But last thing I'll say is it scratches very successfully the Secession itch, like because I've miss Secession so bad, and I'll watch real old episodes every once in a while because there's just nothing else
So
like it.
good.
This is kind of like it. It's shot similarly, where it's got like fly on the wall, The Office style, like mockumentary almost style, and the humor is just like that. And you get Kendall, you get Kendall Roy Cohn, smoothing the transition. So if you're itchy for Succession and this comes out on streaming, The Apprentice will scratch the itch. It's not a political whatever, nothing about the 80-year-old man running the country now. It's about the 40-year-old man con artist from the 80s. So The Apprentice. You guys want to see it?
I might go see The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah, the Disney.
Well, that's we're about an hour long here. I think we've pretty much talked about all the new stuff we want to. Is anyone looking forward to things coming up in the holiday time? Probably catch up one more time before the end of the year shows. Those are still on the horizon. Very fun.
I'll probably see that Nicole Kidman movie. I don't know why that's a Christmas movie, but I think I'll probably see it.
Is that the one where she has like the young guy and it's like, you don't control me, I control you? No, this is just like your show.
That's a Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas movie. I don't know why.
Is it by the guy who made The Intruder? Because it seems like one of his movies.
I don't know.
I'll see
I've been on
Wicked
Nicole
and the Red
Kidman
One.
Kick, so I'm watching it.
Yeah.
What was you saying? Okay, Red One again.
I'll say Wicked. I'll see Wicked and Red One.
I don't think I've ever seen a Wizard of Oz property all the way through, like any of them, even the original movie. Like I don't think I've ever
also
seen any
have
of
not.
It doesn't appeal to me at all. Like I don't.
One.
What am I supposed to get out of it? You know.
I don't know. Oh, bless you. Maybe a
What are you
cold.
looking forward to, Nicole?
I think there's a Christmas movie with Lindsay Lohan coming out. I would like to see her
firing on all
return.
cylinders tonight.
On the Hallmark Channel.
I would like to see her return. She looks good.
She did something recently, right? Like last year? I don't know.
Oh, I must have missed that. I'm rooting for her.
Yeah,
We're always rooting
Why
for
not?
people.
Could come back.
Well, if you have things to recommend to us, we'll probably get it on the next pass through. Films with the Women in My Life on Facebook. Reach out to me on Instagram. I'm Brennan_podhost. And you can email the show with questions, suggestions, and all that other fun stuff. filmswiththewomen@gmail.com. And we're on YouTube. Just search Films with the Women in My Life and click the buttons to get stuff. All right. Thank you guys for being on this catch-up show. And I'll talk to you guys in a few weeks on the next round of things.
Thanks. Bye.
Till next time, this is Brennan signing off, saying thanks for listening and enjoy your movies.
Thanks for listening to Films with the Women in My Life. If you enjoyed being a listener in our life, please rate and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or on your favorite podcast app. Keep up with the latest from the show on Instagram at Brennan_podhost, on Facebook at Films with the Women in My Life, and on Twitter at FilmsWomenPod. Finally, you can email the show with questions and suggestions at filmswiththewomen@gmail.com. Original music for the show was created by Ian Burke and Chris Iwanek. Original artwork created by Nicole D'Alessio. This show is produced by Brennan Snyder. Thank you again for listening and enjoy your movies.